Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. We're doing your full moon horoscope for the full moon in Capricorn, which is happening on this Sunday, July 21st, 2024 at 6:17 a.m. Eastern. That is 3:17 a.m. Pacific time at 29 degrees and 8 minutes of Capricorn. For those of you that are not aware, we did just recently have a full moon in Capricorn. So this makes this second full moon in Capricorn a blue moon in Capricorn, and we will not have a full moon in Cancer this year. Also being at the 29th degree of Capricorn, this is a critical degree. It's the last degree of the sign, and this full moon is conjunct to Pluto. This is very intense, guys. And as you may know as well, Pluto is retrograde at 0 degrees of Aquarius, this full moon being at 29 Capricorn. And Pluto will retrograde back into Capricorn on September 1st for the last time, and will go direct and re-enter Aquarius for the final time, and will be in Aquarius for good on November 19th. I'm really looking at this full moon as kind of like a liminal space or an in-between space of a shift in power for the collective. And on a collective scale, this is infrastructural change. As Pluto moves into Aquarius for the last time in November, this will be a new chapter for the collective. Mars and Uranus are still within a 4-degree orb, so they are still in conjunction. Technically, Mars just moved into Gemini at 0 degrees of Gemini at the time of this full moon, but they are still in conjunction. And from the events of last Saturday, the 13th, we know that this is a very chaotic energy. And we are still under the effect of this energy. It is also making a trine to the full moon, which makes it in sextile to the sun at 29 degrees of Cancer, getting ready to ingress into the sign of Leo. There is this undercurrent of rippling anxiety and tension for collective energies, especially at the time of this full moon being at a critical degree at the last degree of Capricorn, and with it being conjunct to Pluto, this is the hidden, deep subconscious parts of ourselves on an individual level. So definitely see where 29 degrees of Capricorn is in your particular chart. But we're going to dive even further into this, guys. If you guys are new here, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. My name is Leah, aka the Cosmic Rose. We do tarot, astrology, and spirituality. And just a quick announcement for you guys, if you guys are participating in the free tarot reading giveaway this month, I do see all of your comments. I'm just having a little bit of a issue getting back to all the comments and responding to all of them, but I do see them, and you guys will all be entered for a free tarot reading, and I will probably do that at some point. It's probably going to be the second week of August because I'm going to be gone the first week of August. So yeah. So diving a little bit deeper into this full moon energy, guys, a full moon is when we have an exact opposition with the sun and the moon. So as I mentioned, we have the sun at 29 Cancer and we have the moon at 29 Capricorn. So this is the culmination point of the lunation cycle, and something is being illuminated. On a collective scale, Capricorn is really a sign that deals with our infrastructure, our structure, our leadership, our authority. It is governments, institutions, banking, big business, our leaders, and the legacy that they leave behind. In a general sense and more on a personal level, Capricorn is the 10th sign of the zodiac, and this is our hard work, our progress, our authority, our discipline, our progress towards our career or our legacy, our reputation. It is our diligence, our rise to success. It's the climb, our mastery, our inner authority, tradition, persistence, and long-term thinking. Remember that Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is in the sign of Pisces, so that is the dispositor for this full moon, and we will get to that in just a moment. And this is happening in the 3rd decan of Capricorn, and this decan of Capricorn is ruled by planet Mercury, as well as the 4 of Pentacles tarot card. Now the 4 of Pentacles tarot card shows a man with a pentacle that is on his chest, covering his heart chakra. He also has 2 pentacles under his feet, as well as 1 on his crown. This is a card that can mean several different things, but it is generally a card that speaks about longing for some sort of security and being overly dependent on material gains. It is an energy of being somewhat closed off and overly focused on the material in the 3D realm, and it can also represent a sense of conservatism or lack mindset, self-protection, or being guarded or stingy. Also being somewhat frugal with your finances, but there's also this element of being protected and also being prepared for the future. All right, diving a little bit deeper, guys, I'm going to try to keep this as short and sweet as possible, but let's dive into the aspects a little bit. Of course, I did mention that it is conjunct to Pluto, and Pluto is at 0 degrees of Aquarius. Pluto is retrograde and will retrograde back into Capricorn on September 1st. Now, this conjunction is really adding even more intensity to an already intense full moon because it is a blue moon. It's also at a critical degree of 29 degrees Capricorn. Now, Pluto is a planet that deals with our shadows. It's our unconscious. It's our deep-rooted insecurities, our fears. It is power, control, and it really brings out this element of the underworld. It is ruled by, the god Hades. In Roman mythology, in Greek mythology, it was Hades or Pluto. And another important note and distinction is that it's not that Pluto itself is the fear itself. Pluto has a way of bringing out the fears that are already present within the individual. So Pluto itself, or the energy of Pluto, is not the fear. And I think that's a very important distinction, because Pluto is not the actual fear or the insecurities or the hunger for power, because Pluto is just revealing what is unconscious to our consciousness, if that makes any sense. Because Pluto has pretty much seen it all, right? It's the god of the underworld. There is nothing that can scare planet Pluto. It is only scaring the individual that is experiencing it for the first time, because up until then, it's been unconscious to the individual or the collective energy. But Pluto is showing you these deep-rooted insecurities and shadows and fears in order to transform those fears into some sort of personal power or collective power. I'm viewing this full moon kind of like a tower card moment. It is kind of dismantling anything that is already fractured or not built on a solid foundation. It's really trying to purify and detox structures within the self, the psyche, or the collective that are not sturdy or not meant to be brought into the future. This can bring up a lot of emotional intensity, as every full moon does, but especially with the critical degree and being conjunct to Pluto. Pluto really has this element of transformation and the phoenix rising from the ashes. You have to go to the depths of the unconscious or the depths of the underworld in order to release whatever is hidden in the shadow. Can also bring up feelings like guilt or jealousy, or an obsessive need for power and control, an obsessive need for success. Are you overworking yourselves for some other subconscious reason that you're not aware of? The full moon is also making a sextile to Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces, which is also retrograde. And to me, when I was looking at this is really about having a faith in a higher power. So whatever you believe in, God, the universe, your angels, guides, etc., this is going to be fundamentally important for you to deal with any obstacles that might surface at this time. Obviously, this is a high intensity and highly emotional full moon, as well as disruptions within the collective energies as we have been experiencing. So having a faith in a higher power, having faith in God, having faith in whatever you believe in is going to be extremely important. It's going to be very important for you to utilize the energy of having boundaries and structure and reformulating some sort of structure that isn't working in order to move forward and where you're headed in the future in regards to what you want to achieve with the full moon in Capricorn. You can also really use this sextile to channel this energy into some sort of creative project or spiritual pursuit, etc., etc. Also, of course, as I mentioned, there is still a conjunction of Mars and Uranus. Mars is now at 0 degrees of Gemini, and Uranus is still at 26 of Taurus. So they are still conjunct, making a little over 3-degree orb. And with the trine from the full moon, this is just kind of settling in that Mars-Uranus energy. It's still there. It's still very intense. It still causes a lot of nervous system disruptions. There is a need to ground your energy. And I think that it's going to be a little bit disruptive with this full moon, because it's shattering some sort of foundation that you thought was there, but really isn't there. And you're realizing what you're going to need to change. And up until this point, you likely were not aware of it. And this could be happening at a very deeply subconscious level. So it takes a conscious person to be able to realize these things. But you know, these are foundations that are breaking down, and there's a added sense of instability and anxiety and worry because of Mars and Uranus being in trine to the full moon. I know it's a trine, I know it's a positive aspect, but Mars and Uranus coming together is fundamentally just very chaotic energy in general. So I really don't care if it's a trine or not. On the positive side of it being in trine to the full moon, there's an element of really being able to liberate ourselves from some sort of emotional restriction that we've been having, right? The moon in Capricorn, it's in its detriment position. It's not the best position for the moon to be in. When the moon is in Capricorn, it doesn't know how to express itself. It doesn't really know how to feel. It's an area of the chart that's ruled by Saturn, literally polar opposite energies. So with this trine from Mars and Uranus, there's this energy of really being able to take action in order to liberate some sort of emotional restriction. It can really lower our inhibitions and the way that we've looked at things in a very like conservative or structural way, and maybe looking at things and doing things from a different way, an innovative way, a way that's aimed towards the future instead of a way that's focused on the past. I also want to mention that Mercury is in square to Uranus as well, which also technically makes it in a square to Mars, but we're going to focus on Mercury square Uranus. Now, these are very kind of similar energies. I always refer to Uranus as kind of like the higher octave of Mercury. Mercury is the messenger, right? It's the mind, it's our communication, but first and foremost, it's the mind. And Uranus is the higher mind. And with it being an intense aspect like a square, this could be like sudden realizations and sudden insights, innovative thinking, ideas. It can disrupt our travel plans or just make sudden changes to the way that we're thinking about something, the way we're doing something. something, the way that we're communicating something. This also adds to the nervous tension as well because Mercury is in Leo and Leo rules the heart. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see people that have some sort of heart condition or cardiovascular issue, if issues around those types of things would be flaring up around this time. This can make it a little bit harder to stay focused because we might be very distracted with like lots of different ideas coming from many different directions, lots of insights, lots of communication, lots of action going on, right? So it's really important to stay focused and open-minded to new ways of thinking, new ways of doing things, and looking towards the future. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have for you guys. I'm trying to keep these horoscopes a little bit shorter, but we do have Venus and Mercury both in the sign of Leo now. We have the sun that is about to ingress into Leo on the 22nd this year. Normally it is the 23rd. My solar return is the 23rd this year. My birthday is the 24th. But yeah, we're a day early for Leo season. So the sun will ingress into Leo the following day after this full moon, and then we actually have a pretty beautiful new moon in Leo happening in August. It's actually like one of the nicest new moons of the year in my personal opinion. Other than that, that is all of the major aspects I wanted to cover. This is a very revolutionary and unstable and unpredictable full moon, to say the least, but it's really a necessary shift in energy and power and collective infrastructure. So we need to be open to the possibility that things need to collapse in order to be rebuilt on a more solid foundation. So, and for personal readings, you guys can check out the description box or the pinned comment below. I also have a new free mini ebook. It's a tarot history lesson. I put a lot of hard work into that, and it's free. If you guys are interested in that, that is all in the link below. But happy full blue moon in Capricorn, guys. I will see you next time. Bye.